Hello viewers, today we will discuss basic electrical mostly asked 50 questions. So please watch to the end of the video and please subscribe and like and share my channel. So today we will discuss the most asked 50 questions for the competitive examination. So the first question is, what will be the resistance of 10 resistors of 10 ohm each is connected in series? We know each resistance are 10 ohm connected in series. So according to formula, we know that R equal to R1 plus R2 plus R3 Rn. Here 10 ohm resistors and 10 each connected in series. So we get 10 into 10, we get 100 ohm. So option A is the answer. So the next question is, the resistivity of the wire depends. Here we see the resistivity of the wire depends. Option A length, option B materials, option C cross section area, option D all of the above. According to the resistivity of the resistance formula, R equal to rho into L by A. Here the rho is the resistivity of the materials. So we know the resistivity of the materials does not depend of the length cross sections area. So here only depends on the materials. So here option B is the answer. So we move to the next questions. Which of the following is not the same as the watt? Which of the following is not the same as the watt? We know option here the joules per second, option B the ampere volt, option C ampere into volt, option B ampere square into ohm. We know the watt W, the mechanical watt W by T equal to the P. We know the mechanical watt P equal to W by T. So here we get the unit of P equal to W is the work done, here the joule, and the T is the time is second. So option A is the right. And the ampere into volt, we know that the electrical power P equal to V into I. Here we get the ampere into volt. And the next option is the ampere square into R. We know that P equal to I square into R. Here we get the ampere square into ohm. So the is does not same as the wire. Here the option B is the right answer. So the B volt ampere per volt is the answer. So the next question is, the Ohm's law is not applicable to. Here option A the DC circuit, option B high current, option C small resistors, option D the semiconductor. So we know the Ohm's law is not applicable only the semiconductor and the electrolyte solutions. Here the option D is the right answers. So the 5 number question is, here we see that the a wire of resistance R, its length and the cross sections area are doubled. Its resistance will be, we here the know that R equal to rho into L by A. Here the L and the A both are double. We know V equal to the A into L. Here we get the length and the cross sections area both are double. So the resistance does not change. Here the resistance are remain same. So the option C is the answer. So the next question is, the rating of fuse wire is expressed in terms of. Here we option A ohms, mho, ampere and the watt. We know the rating of the fuse always we see that 5 ampere to 30 volt. The rating of the ampere always we get the ampere. Here the answer is the amperes. C is the right answer. So the next question is, for the maximum transfer of power, the internal resistance of the source should be option A equal to the load resistance, option B less than that of load, option D the more than the load, option D the 0. We know the maximum power P is the max when the load resistance is equal to R load equal to the internal resistance of the load. So here we get the equal to the load resistance. Option A is the right answer. So the question number 8 is, the Thevenin's theorem can be applied to the network containing the passive element, active element only, and the linear element only all of the above. Here we see the Thevenin's theory, T Thevenin's always applicable the all of the passive element, active element and the linear element. Here option D, all of these above is the answer. So the next question is, which of the following theorems which helps to simplify the calculations when the load across the circuit is varying? Option A, here the load across the circuit is varying. Here the load is the varying, means the R load equal to the R internal load, so internal resistance. So here the R load and the R internal resistance are the vary. Here the loads of the circuit is varying. So here we get from the option superposition, Norton, Thevenin's and the maximum power transfer. It is the maximum power transfer theory. So option D is the right answer. So the next question is, when the maximum power transfer take place, the efficiency of the power transfer of the circuit is. When we get the power transfer P max, the efficiency of the power of the circuit is the half. So here we get the 50% of the efficiency. So the here option C is the right answer. So the next question is, the superposition theory as require of the superposition theorem as many circuits to be solved as there as option A nodes, option B source, option C nodes and source, and option D node, source and the mesh. We know the superposition theory always apply for the source. Here we get the superposition theory E equal to, we know that E1 plus of E2. Here we always the many circuit, here we get the applicable or to solve the source. Here we option B is the right answer. So the next is, here we see that next questions is, the ideal source, voltage source should have option A 0 source resistance, option B the infinite source resistance, option C the terminal voltage and is proportional to the current, option D the open circuit voltage nearly equal to the voltage to the load. We know for the ideal voltage source has the 0 internal resistance or the 0 resistance. Here the option A is the right answer. So you get the next questions is, the passive element in a circuit is one, which is the receive energy, supply energy and the both supply and receive energy, and D is the none. Here we get for the passive element always the receive the energy. Here we get passive energy, capacitor and the inductor as the passive element. It is always energy receiving energy. So here option A is the right answer. So the next question is, unit of the potential is. We know that the unit of potential, here we get the potential or the potential difference. Here we get the same unit. So we get potential difference, we get the V, or here is the option is ampere, volt, coulomb and volt ampere. Here we get the volt. So option B is the right answer. So the next question is, the in a flux of the Weber link in a coil N turns induced the voltage of the coil is given by. Here we get from the Faraday law F equal to minus N di by dt. Here option is N d dash dt, N di by dt and N blu and the none. Here we get N di by dt. So here we option B is the right answer. So the next question is, the when there is a relative motions of the coil, the magnetic field, a voltage is induced in a coil. Such a voltage is applied. Option A static induced, option B dynamically induced voltage, option C self induced voltage, option D the mutually induced voltage. Here is the relative motions of the coil and the magnetic field. We get the induced EMF of the coil such and the voltage is dynamic induced voltage. Here we option B is the right answer. So the next question is, the polarity of the induced voltage is determined by. Here we determine the polarity. So the polarity of the induced voltage is determined by the Lenz law. We know the induced EMF magnitude is determined the Faraday law, but the polarity of the induced EMF determined by the Lenz law. Here B, option B is the right answer, or the direction determined by the Lenz law. So here we see that The next questions, two resistance R1 R2 are gives the combined resistance of 4.5 ohm in a series and 1 ohm when the parallel. The resistance are, here we get the two resistance, when we get the combined of the resistance is 4.5 in series. Here we get R equal to R1 plus of R2 equal to the 4.5, and we get the when the parallel or R equal to R1 R2 by R1 plus R2. Here we get option is 1. So from the above calculation we get the R1 plus R2. Here the option is 3 and 6. Here we get the 9, and 3 and 9, here we get 12. 1.5 into 3, here get with the 4.5, and 1.5 into 5, here get 2. So the R1 and R2 we get add, here we get only 4.5. So here option C is the right answer. So the next is a materials having charge of 12 coulomb over the 6 second. What is the current flowing through the material? We know the I equal to the Q by T. Here Q equal to, we get 12, and the time is, here T is 6. So here we get the 2 ampere. Here option is 3 ampere, 2 ampere, 4 ampere and 10 ampere. Here we get the option B is the 2 ampere. So 2 is the right answer. So next question is the potential difference. Next question we get the potential difference between the two terminal of the resistor is 10 volt. Here we get the potential difference of two terminal resistors is the 10 volt. The current having 5 ampere. What is the value of the resistance? Option A 2, option B 1.5, option C 1.5, option D none. Here we get the V equal to the 10 volt and the I equal to the 5 ampere. We get V equal to I into R. For above formula we get the R equal to V by I. So the R equal to the V by I, we get V equal to 10 by 5. Here we get the 2 ampere. So here A is the right answer. So we get the next questions is the 4 resistor each is 20 are connected in parallel. The total resistance is, here we get the R equivalent or 1 by R equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3 dot 1 by Rn for the parallel. Here we get 1 by R equal to the 1 by 20 plus 1 by 20 plus 1 by 20 plus 1 by 20. So from the above we get the 1 by R equal to the 4 by 20. Here we get the 1 by 5. So the R equal to, we get the R equal to 1 by R equal to the 1 by 5. So the R equal to the 5. So here the answer is 5 ohm. So here the B is the right answer. So the next question is the 1 farad is equal to, here the answer is, option is 1, B 1 volt per coulomb, 1 coulomb per volt, and D is the none. We know the Q equal to the CV for the capacitor. Here the farad is the unit of capacitance, so C equal to the Q by V. So here 1 farad equal to 1 coulomb by volt. Here with the coulomb, Q is the unit of coulomb. So here we get the C 1 coulomb by volt. So the next question is, we get two resistors 4 and 12 ohm are connected in parallel. The combined of each is 2 resistor. What is the equivalent resistance? Here we get the two resistance of 4 and 12 are in the parallel. So that we get from the 4 and 12 or R equivalent equal to 2 are parallel, or R1 into R2 by R1 plus R2. Here we get 4 into 12 by 4 plus 12. We get 48 by 16. Here we get the 3. So for the parallel we get R equal to we get 48 by 16, we get 3. And the 2 ohm is the series. Here we get 2 ohm is the series. So we get the R equivalent equal to 3 plus 2. For series we know that R equal to R1 plus of R2. So here 3 plus of 2, we get the 5 ohm. So answer is the, here we get the answer is the 5 ohm, B. So the next question is, here we get the unit of the resistance. Option A ohm, option B volt, option C ampere, option D Tesla. Or the unit of resistance R is always ohms. It is measured by ohm meter. So here option A is the right answer. So next question is the circuit is defined as, here the circuit is the defined as, here option A is the internal circuit of the current element through the path, the internal current circuit without element through the closed path, interconnected of the circuit element, and the none of the these. Here we get the is a circuit means the interconnected of the circuit is a closed path. Here the option A is the right answer because the circuit has the closed interconnected with the closed path. So here option A is the right answer. So you get the next questions. In a circuit connection, the element parameter is same. In the series connection, which element parameter is the same? Here we get for the series, we get the current is same and the voltage is drop. So here option A current, option B voltage, option C power, and option D none. Here the current is the same. For the series connection, the current is the same. Option A is the right answer. So the next question is, in a parallel connection, the element parameter is same. For parallel, we got the voltage are the same and current is the changing. So here we get the voltage is the same. Here option A current, option B voltage, option C power, and option D other. Here we get the voltage. So the next question is, a loop in a circuit is defined as, option A closed path, junction point of the two or more branch, interconnected element, and D all of the above. Closed loop of a circuit is defined as, closed loop or the loop is a always the closed path, or nothing but the closed path is not a loop. So here we option get 1 or option A is the right answer. So the next question is, KCL is applicable, or KCL is applicable a junction, a resistor, a loop, or a D is the all of the above. Or KCL means the Kirchhoff current law. So the Kirchhoff current law or KCL is always applicable, always the junction or the node, because we get the determine the KCL, the Kirchhoff's current law. Here we the determine the current by the junctions. So here the option A is the right answer. So the next question is, the KVL is applicable as, option A junction, option B resistors, option C the closed loop, option D all of the above. Here with the KVL means the Kirchhoff's voltage law always applicable as a closed loop. We get the determine the potential. Here we get the closed loop. Here option C is the right answer. So the next question is, the superposition theorem is applicable of a bilateral, non-bilateral network, unibilateral network, all of the above. We know the superposition theorem always applicable by the linear network. Here option A is the right answer. So the next is, Faraday law of induced EMF is dynamically induced, statically induced EMF, eddy current, and the none of these. We know the Faraday first law of induced EMF always the statically induced EMF. Here the option B is the right answer. So the next question is, the Faraday second law of induced EMF. Faraday's second law of induced EMF is dynamically induced, statically induced EMF, and the eddy current, eddy EMF, and the none. Here the Faraday's second law of induced EMF always the dynamically induced EMF. Here the option A is the right answer. So the next question is, the direction of dynamically induced EMF can be determined with the help of option A Lenz law, Fleming left hand rule, and the Fleming right hand rule, and the none of the these. We know the direction of the dynamic induced EMF can be determined. Here we get the direction of the dynamic induced EMF. We get the directions. Directions mean the induced EMF direction here get n d phi by dt or n di by dt. Here the minus is the induced EMF directions. So we get direction of the induced EMF always the Lenz law. Option A is the right answer. Here we get the negative sign using the Lenz law. So the direction of the dynamics induced EMF always determined by the Lenz law. So the next is the option 44. The self-induced EMF is written as, here we get the n L equal to n phi by I. Here we n is the number of turns, or L equal to phi by I, or we get the L equal to V di by dt. Here the option A, B, C both are correct, so option D is the right answer. So the next question is Thevenin's theorem was Thevenin's voltage is open circuit voltage, short circuit voltage, closed circuit voltage, and none of the above. We know Thevenin's always the open circuit. Here the option A, Thevenin's voltage, or T Thevenin's always we get the open circuit voltage. Here we get the Thevenin's voltage is open circuit voltage. Option A is the right answer. So the next question is the Ohm's law is applicable at condition option A, constant temperature, option B, constant pressure, option C, constant volume, option D, none of these. Here with the Ohm's law is applicable always the constant temperature. Ohm's law for applicable we need the constant temperature and the other physical condition are remain constant. So here we get the option A is the right answer. So the next question is the unit of next questions. Here we get the unit of inductance is option A ohms, option B volt, option C ampere, option D Henry. Unit of inductance, L's unit, L is the inductance, unit is Henry. Here the ohms is the resistance unit and the volt is the potential difference and I is the ampere. Here we get option D is the right answer. So the next we get the unit of the capacitance. Here the unit of capacitance means the C. Here ohms, farad, ampere, Tesla. We get capacitance unit or C. C is the always unit of the farad. Here we get unit the farad, or unit of capacitance is farad. So the next question is the inductor store the energy. Inductor store the energy, electrical energy, magnetic energy, mechanical energy and all. We know the inductor always, or L is always the store the energy. It is always the electrical, mechanical and the mechanical energy. Here D is the answer. All of these the right answer. So next, magnetic flux is a unit of Newton, ampere turns, Weber and the Tesla. We get the unit magnetic flux phi is the unit of the Weber. Here we the C is the right answer. So the next question is, here we see that the E1 A sin t and E2 A sin t minus of axis curves here, then E and E2 the same page. We know that E equal to E sin omega t and the E1 and E2 equal to E sin omega t minus theta. Here there is a phase difference. Here we get the E2 lags the E1. So here option B is the right answer. So next questions is, here we get the next questions is here we see that the questions of 25 cycle current sine wave having RMS value of 30 ampere will be. Here the RMS value of 30 ampere, V is the 30 ampere. So we get here the peak value is V peak equal to 30 into root 2. Here we get 30 into root 2, we get 42.4. And here the cycle is 25, or 2 omega t, 25 into 2, here we get 50. So A sin omega t here means, here is the waveform is 42.4 sin 2 into 25. Here we get 42.5 sin 50 t. So here we get option A is the right answer. So the next question is, a RMS value of sinusoidal waveform V is equal to 200 sin t is, here we get 200 by root 2. Here we get the answer is option A. So next, the RMS value of supply voltage is 404. The load is, here we get the load current or the I equal to, here get the 400 into 4, because P equal to V square V into I. So here we get from this V equal to IR, put, we get the I equal to, here the load current I equal to 400 into 4. So here we get the value of the voltage V equal to V square equal to eta. So the V equal to root of 1600 equal to 40. So from the above formula we get the value of the voltage V equal to 40. So here option A is the right answer. So the next question is, what is the representation by the high potency of the impedance triangle? Here we get the high potency of the impedance triangle. Here the resistance, here is the impedance, here the reactance, and Z is the impedance. Z is the high potency, so is the impedance drop. Option A is the impedance drop. So next question is, the phase angle difference between the current and voltage 90 degree, the power will be. We know the power equal to VI cos theta. Here the cos theta is the 90 degree. So the cos 90 degree is always 0. So here V equal to the 0. So here option A is the right answer. So the next is, here a series of RLC, R equal to L equal to and C equal to both are 1. So connected the voltage, current is 1 ampere. So the energy consumed in 1. So 1 hour equal to 3600 second. Here we get the energy consumed is 3600 joule. So the next is, the power consumed by the resistor is, we know the power consumed is resistor is VI cos theta. So here we get the power consumed is the resistor VI cos theta, VI sin theta, and VI tan theta. We get the VI cos theta. So next is the pure inductive circuit, the current voltage by 90 degree. So we get the pure inductive circuit. Here the current is the lag. Pure capacitive circuit, the current is lead. So here the inductive circuit, so the current is lag. So by the angle 90 degree. So here option B is the right answer. So the next question is, the power consumed of the capacitor is, here VI, option B 0, option C VI sin theta, option D VI cos. Here the power consumed or P equal to VI cos theta. Here cos theta is the power factor and V is the potential difference, I is the current, and P is the power. So here the power consumed by the capacitor is always the VI cos theta power consumed. Here the power consumed by the capacitor does not consume any power. So the power consumed by the capacitor is always 0. Option B is the right answer. In general case, the power consumed is P equal to VI cos theta, where cos is the power factor, but the capacitor does not consume any power, so the power consumed by the capacitor is 0. Option B is the right answer. So thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe my channel, get more electrical notifications.